Alright, today we're going to be building this really awesome TV stand with cabinets on the side, sliding front door, storage in the front, and an awesome hidden TV lift mechanism with our TV stored inside. Alright, I'm blown away with how this turned out. Let's get to the build. As you can see in the drawings, the cabinet is comprised of a few sections. We're using mostly walnut plywood, but the legs are made out of solid walnut. In order to make sure that everything fits just right, we're going to be cutting down all the pieces in stages instead of all at once. We're going to start with the 4 pieces that make up the body. I rough cut the widths with my track saw, then I cut the final width on the circular saw so that I would have a perfectly parallel cut. I repeated this process to cut the boards to length. Next, as you see here, I cut the vertical supports for the back encasement that houses the TV and the lift, and the vertical supports for the shelves. So all of these pieces came from that one piece of plywood, which is a little bit different than the cut list I'll share on SketchUp, but in the process of doing it, it seemed like the right way to go. I used my router with a fence attachment and a 1/4 inch straight bit to cut 2 dados on the top and bottom of the cabinet. The top dados are about twice as deep as the bottom dados. This will let me insert and remove the doors once everything is glued up. This is my first time that I used edge banding, and it's not that hard at all, so don't stress out about this if you're thinking about making this project. All you do is iron it on. You can use a regular iron for this. I have this $20 one that I bought, so I won't mess mine up, but then you wait for the glue to cool down and cut it flush. I found that just using a regular razor worked well for me, but you can also buy purpose-built trimmers for this process. Another tip: once you cut the banding down, really press on the sides and then wipe it off and squeeze out the glue on your finger. After you do this, a little sanding will clean it up. I'm using this $10 doweling jig to attach the main body pieces together. It works surprisingly well considering how cheap it is. Once you have the locations of your holes measured out, you start by centering the back of the doweling jig on the side of one of the pieces that you want to join. You drill the holes, and then you insert some dowels into those holes, flip the jig over, and set the depth on the fence. Next, you line up the dowels that you just cut with the second board, set the depth, and clamp the boards together. Now you can just drill the second holes. I had to cut my dowels down to length so they would fit, so I just used my Japanese pool saw and some sandpaper. Once assembled, I found that the dowels on the bottom piece were too close to the edge, so it made the top piece hang off a little bit. To fix this, I glued extra dowels and then trimmed them off with my pool saw so that I could take another stab at it. We'll get back to that later, but first we're going to measure and cut out the insert piece that sits on top of the TV lift. After measuring out my dimensions, I used my track saw to cut away as much material as possible. You can definitely do this with a circular saw or a jigsaw. Speaking of which, I used my jigsaw and a straight edge to finish up the cuts. This worked out really well. I had to take 2 passes to remove enough material since the jigsaw blade was thinner than my track saw blade, but as you can see, you can't really tell any difference. Okay, back to the dowels. Once I set the fence deeper, I cut the second set of holes. For these, I found that clamping the jig down helped make sure that it didn't move at all as a result of having to drill into 2 different types of wood, the glued dowel and the plywood. In the end, it worked out really well. After a dry fit, I applied some painter's tape to the corners to help limit the glue cleanup that was going to be needed, and then I went about gluing everything up. I clamped everything tight and used some right angle clamps to ensure that things stayed square. For this build, I'm using a TV lift mechanism from tvliftcabinet.com, who's the sponsor for the video. My lift came with literature, a remote, a top bracket to hold on the lid, the TV mount, and the lift itself. This thing is super sturdy. TV Lift Cabinet says it can hold up to 120 pounds, but I figure it could probably do a little bit more than that. It's made in the USA and only takes about 30 minutes to install, as you'll see later in this build. I'm going to include a link in the description to the version I used, but you can also check out all the other ones they have as well. Next, we're going to be cutting down the back, the shelf pieces, and the interior cabinet that hides the lift itself. First, I cut the piece that hides the lift, then I cut it to final width on the table saw. Next, I cut the back and then the shelves, making sure to cut them the same width as the vertical supports I had already cut. You could also use your miter saw for this step, but I just find if I already have my table saw out, this is much faster. Using my Craig pocket hole jig saved a ton of time for cutting all the pocket holes. I think I got it all done in about like 5 minutes. You're going to see in a second. You can even support huge boards and do it with one person just because it has these side pieces that support the board. I've used some of the smaller versions of these in other videos, which you can check those out. They work equally well, it's just they take a lot longer. Next, I took a tiny bit of wood off the top of the back so that when I added edge banding there, it would still sit flush. I also decided to add some strips of walnut to the back side corners of the cabinet. This will help align the back when I attach it and hide any slight cracks that might be there. I could have just cut rabbets into the back so that there would be no cracks, but I didn't go that route. I used a scrap piece of 3/4 inch plywood as a spacer, and then I glued and clamped on the strips. While that dried, I assembled the housing for the TV and the lift using the pocket holes that we just drilled. I find it's really helpful to use the table saw top and fence to help get things aligned and to clamp everything. With the dry fit looking good, I moved over to the sliding doors. For these, I'm using 1/4 inch MDF core walnut plywood. Somehow I managed to lose a little bit of this clip, so there you go. But the key here is to cut the doors taller than you need them and slowly cut away down to the perfect size and fit. If you cut them too short, you're not going to be able to fit them into the grooves and they'll just fall down. The base is made out of solid walnut. I'm using some scrap pieces that were already milled. Here I'm cutting what will eventually become the legs using a stop block and a crosscut sled. I cut the side stretchers and then I ripped them down to final thickness. Then I ripped down the long stretchers and I cut them down to length, making sure to measure them against the actual piece of furniture rather than just my drawings. I considered a couple different angles for the miters on the feet, but I ended up measuring in 1/2 inch from the inside of the foot and then connecting that line to the intersection with the stretcher. To make a repeat cut, I built a sled with some scrap plywood. You can draw the angle on the foot and then line up the ends along the edge of the sled where the blade cuts. Then you just add on some supports and a clamp to keep things in place, and it works really well. I decided to add a little cheater foot in the center just in case, although I don't think it's really going to be actually needed since this whole thing isn't that heavy. For For the glue up, I started with the short stretchers and the feet because I had clamps that fit that easily. Then I moved on to the long stretchers, connecting those two sections together. I only have one clamp that fits this, so I had to go piece by piece. Again, on this section, I used some right angles to clamp everything in place and keep things squared. I found that the MDF core sliding doors sagged a little bit down the middle, so I cut some strips of walnut, then I glued and clamped them to the backs of the doors where they won't be seen. Also, make sure that you steer clear of where you're going to drill the hole for the handle. This did a great job and it got rid of all sagging completely. To assemble the shelves, I cut a spacer, then I used my table saw top again to drive in the pocket hole screws. Don't worry, you won't see these pocket holes at all because they sit so low, so unless you're like sitting right in front on the floor looking up, you're not going to see it. I measured out the locations of the door pulls and then I used a Forstner bit to drill out the holes. To attach the legs to the base, I'm going to use figure 8 hardware. I used a Forstner bit to recess one side of the 8 into the legs, then I drilled a pilot hole for the screws to reduce the chance that the walnut, which is really hard, would split. Once that was done, I flipped it over and I screwed in the other sides to the base. The legs were a little bit warped, so I added a couple extra pieces of hardware to the corners so that I could clamp them in place, screw them in, and then work my way down to make sure it all was aligned. This worked really well. After a little bit of sanding, I used a foam brush to apply several coats of Maker's brand Simple Finish with beeswax. I really like this stuff, although it's a little bit pricey.
So everything is finished and just needs to be put together. So we're going to first install the back on here, only with pocket hole screws. We're going to install maybe 2 just to keep it in place. After that, we're going to install the TV lift itself and make sure everything's set up correctly. We will take the back off and then we're going to install everything else and put the back on last. That way we can just use pocket holes for all the interior, so if I want to change things there later, I can. Comes with a little brace that pulls off. There we go.
You just need to center the brace at the bottom of the back of the cabinet, then you screw it in with the 4 included screws. I pre-drilled one of the holes just so things wouldn't slide on me, but you definitely don't need to. Next, you just slot the lift back onto that brace that's on the bottom and make sure that everything is 90 degrees and then screw in the top 4 screws. Because I have the optional top lid, I have to remove these 2 pieces that come pre-installed. Then you just slide in the top bracket and attach it with screws. Because I didn't want my cabinet higher than 33 inches from the ground, so it wouldn't go above the window in my guest room, the lift top was not quite flush with the cabinet top. So I traced out where the hardware connected to the bottom of the top, measured the depth with some scrap wood, and then used my router to remove a little bit of material from the top. This worked like a charm, and the little bit of material I cut away is not visible at all once the TV is mounted. I attached the horizontal brace that attaches the TV, then I drilled in a hole for the power cable. I attached the control box that has the backup switch in case you lose the remote, and I installed a cable clamp to keep the cables out of the way of the moving TV. I measured the height of the control box and then I drilled an access hole in the side of the TV housing. This way I'll be able to reach in and get to it without taking things apart. I dry fit everything so that I could align the front shelves where I wanted them. Then I measured out the center of each vertical side of the shelves, marked a few spots on the back, and drilled a couple of pilot holes. I removed the back and started screwing everything into place. I used a scrap piece of plywood to make sure that the spacing was right, and I used one of these handy 90-degree clamps from Craig. that clamp into a pocket hole itself and hold the two boards at 90 degrees. They work really well. Then I drove a couple of screws into the pilot holes that will hold the bookshelf in place. Finally, I attached the back. I definitely went a little bit overboard on the pocket holes here, but I wanted to make sure that it was sturdy since it's going to be holding the lift and the TV. While most people would be able to skip this step, I needed to remove the lower brace that holds the bottom of the TV and drill a couple of holes to bolt it lower than it typically is meant to sit. This is because my TV is a little bit older and as a result is taller than most 46-inch TVs. I could have gotten a larger lift, but again, I wanted to keep my total height under 33 inches. After that, I just set the TV on the base, installed the bolts in the back, and plugged it in. And with that, we're done. This thing turned out really nice. For those of you who are intimidated by this build, don't be. This is very much a DIY project. Just make sure you slow down and take your time. Thank you again to tvliftcabinet.com for sponsoring this video. I'm really impressed with the build quality and how easy it was to install. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check them out.
Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please hit me up in the comments. Let me know your thoughts, feedback. I love seeing all the interesting stuff you guys want to know about or come up with. You can also find me on Instagram, ask me any questions, send me pictures of things you've built. I really enjoy that. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for all of your support in this. I do this for fun. I have a full-time job, so it's really, what I get out of it is interacting with you all. So thanks again. But if you want to help the channel, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thanks all. I'll see you in the next episode.